are not going to take it any longer. We will never give up. We will never concede. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. But go home and go home in peace. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. You do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
It's just one ant.
Yeah, boss. They're puny.
Puny? Say, let's pretend this grain is a puny little ant. Did that hurt?
Nope.
Well, how about this one? Are you kidding? Well, how about this? You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay?
Probably not yet. It's working there. He's working on it. Yeah, he's working on it. Yeah. Now we have the sound. Awesome. Sorry about that. How's everybody's weekend going? So, had to play that. Had to play the evil grasshopper clip at the beginning. And I might be playing that more often. We'll see. We'll see if I get like a strike. I doubt I'd get a strike, but they might like want to mute that part or whatever. But what's up, Broken Patriot? How you doing? That was in my head all day long. And the reason it was in my head all day long is because I watched a Guns Coast to Coast video today, and he referenced it, right? Now, a lot of people in our community, freedom community, you know, I have a constitutional right community. Anybody in those communities, when we reference movies that, you know, talk about what's going on, usually we're referencing the Matrix. Oh man, we're all in the Matrix. Or we're referencing 1984. Guns Coast to Coast went straight to Bug's Life. And it absolutely floored me in his recent video. Go check out Guns Coast to Coast. I think it's his newest video. It was like 10 minutes long, so I'm not going to play it here. But what a great topic. What a great video on that topic. Yeah. You're being controlled. Both sides. You voting for a Republican versus voting for a Democrat, in the end of the day, doesn't really matter that much. You have Florida right now, and I do have a video we're not going to watch this whole thing because it's also 10 minutes, but from Reno May talking about uh, Florida. Florida has a super majority of Republicans. They have a super majority, which means they don't have to have any kind of across the aisle shit in order to get shit passed. However, are they now taking that super majority that they're enjoying and using it to get back your gun rights? No, they're not. Why? Because people who have an A rating from the NRA have no interest in getting your gun rights back. They're part of the same grasshopper team as the Democrats are. All right. Install a new CPU cooler on my PC. Now it won't start. Well, that's not the cooler's fault. So get this. Me and Riddle Girl went a little bit yard selling this last weekend. We found a old gaming computer that a kid had, and he was getting rid of it. I guess either he upgraded or whatever else. I don't know. But we got that computer, pretty much everything you needed for. Well, we did have to buy a couple pieces. So what is our grand total right now for that whole PC? You think like around $100? It's probably like $100. And it's a nice card. It's an Intel 5 and the whole bit. So it's gonna 120. We're in 120 now, but it was I think we got it for like $35, and we've had to do a few things to it, but for the most part, it was mostly there. Anyway, faulty or underpowered power supply. Yeah, don't cheap out on your power supply. Never, ever, I don't care how cheap your build is, never cheap out on your power supply. That will cause you a whole bunch of headaches, including fire. Possibly, if you do it wrong. I don't know. Let's go. I hope everybody's Labor Day weekend is going well. Mine is going okay. I woke up in a great mood, and then I remembered some shit that my daughter had done a while back, and just kind of put me back in a bad mood. But other than that, I'll be all right. All right, first of all, there is a Mark Dice video, but this one here, this is the Reno May video that I'm not going to play, but I want you to know about. In this video, he talks about how there are groups going after the gun owners of America right now. Why are people mad at gun owners of America? And in this video, he makes the case for it's because they are no compromise organization. You have, hold on, I have the display capture still on. You have Republicans in, he makes the example, you have Republicans in Florida that could pass constitutional carry right now if they wanted to, but they won't. Why will they not? Because they don't want you to have a firearm on you. And these are supposed A+ rated members of the NRA. Well, the GOA don't play around. If you vote against a gun right, they're going to hold you accountable whether you have an R in your name or not. And the NRA will not do that. They just, oh, you're a Republican? You got an A rating from the NRA. Well, you know what? The NRA also compromises a lot. Pretty much every major gun control law that has passed has had the NRA's blessing attached to it. Nothing. I did a video about it. Yeah. Okay. You might have crossed a wire. If you pulled out a wire, there's a lot of little wires. Maybe. The reason why the gun owners of America are taking so much heat right now is because they will not just blanket put a gun-friendly moniker on a Republican just for being a Republican, because you actually have to do something and not just say you're going to do something. And that's what politicians like to do. All right, the Mark Dice video we are going to watch. Now, there was a couple Mark Dice videos last week that I did not watch, but I want to address. He had done a video, and we did watch part of it, but he had done a video where Project Veritas had come out with, against this teacher, had done a whole expose on him, I guess. He's a communist teacher teaching communism in his class and giving extra credit if they go to one of these rallies with Antifa, right? It was a whole thing. Apparently, he got fired. The chick Also, with the rainbow earrings, remember when she made them pledge allegiance to the pride flag? She also got fired. However, here's the problem. That's just the ones that are out in the open. I really do, and the parents are saying that they're going to keep on it, and I hope they do, because both of them said that there's other teachers like that there, and they definitely felt comfortable enough to post that on TikTok and social media. So in their classrooms or in that whole school setting, it's okay. And the only reason it's not okay now is because they got caught. Will they catch the other ones, the co-conspirators? I don't know. All right. Let's watch some Mark Dice here.
Stay home for 2 weeks to flatten the
Hold
curve.
up.
It went from stay home.
Oh, by the way, there's a line in here that he uses from Biden. I'm definitely going to use in the intro. Once again, I did not do the intro. Been dealing with shit. Oh, by the way, I was also looking up Guga Mongolian beef. You can see it right here. That's Guga is my guru when it comes to food searches. So if you ever want to know how I know how to make a steak so good, Broken Patriot, it's because I watch Guga and I watch sous vide everything. It's good shit. All right, let's watch this.
For 2 weeks to flatten the curve, to don't go to the lake for Labor Day, don't go to a barbecue, don't go anywhere unless you're fully vaccinated.
CDC is warning unvaccinated people against travel this holiday weekend, fearing a surge in new cases as a new variant is being monitored.
As you know, Labor Day weekend is the end of summer, but it's still going to be probably another month and a half until the cold weather kicks in most parts of the country. But by then, if you haven't taken the vaccine, you probably won't be allowed in a grocery store, and the establishment is certainly going to try to cancel Christmas.
We skip Christmas.
You won't hear about this in the mainstream media, but people in France have had enough of the coronavirus vaccine passports.
If that's true,
they don't want Big
I'm
Brother breathing down their neck, forcing them to scan every time they step out their front door, or else they're not allowed to go into any stores or do anything. There have been ongoing protests there for 2 months now, and over the weekend, protesters stormed a shopping mall and caused the police to retreat. They're not the only ones out protesting. However, here in America, doctors are protesting.
Just moments ago, more than 75 doctors staged a walkout to protest the number of COVID patients coming to the hospitals who have not been vaccinated.
Maybe people can't get treatment at that hospital because the doctors are out protesting instead of caring for their patients. Others say that even if you're fully vaccinated, if you traveled this Labor Day weekend, you should have gotten tested before you left, and when you return, you need to get tested again.
If you want to go out and travel, try to pay attention to where you're traveling to, what community transmission and vaccination rates look like when you're there. Make sure your entire group is on the same page. Who you're traveling with, who you're going to go see regarding vaccines, masks, and that stuff. And last but not least is get tested before you go. And when you come back, get tested again.
Speaking of getting tested, Candace Owens has been doing a lot of traveling, and some of the venues that she attends demand proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test in order to allow entry. And so she's been getting tested on a regular basis. That is until one healthcare facility canceled her appointment and said that they're not going to allow her to get tested because she's Candace Owens.
She got this letter from the owner of the testing site, a woman who called herself Susanna Lee. Quote, I'm going to refuse this booking and deny service. We cannot support anyone who has proactively worked to make this pandemic worse by spreading misinformation, politicizing, and discouraging the wearing of masks and actively dissuading people from receiving life-saving vaccinations.
And if you're not vaccinated and you happen to catch the coronavirus, CNN's Don Lemon doesn't want you to have any treatment at all.
If you're not going to get vaccinated, you don't want to social distance, you don't want to wear a mask, then maybe you don't want to go to the hospital when you get sick. I know that sounds harsh, but you're taking up the space for people who are doing things the right way. And I just think if you don't want to play by any of those rules and then all of a sudden you end up in the hospital, I feel bad that but maybe you shouldn't go and take up the resources from someone else.
What about people who have a heart attack from obesity? They didn't do what they were supposed to do. They didn't cut out the junk food and limit their portions or exercise a couple days a week. I guess Don Lemon and those doctors at that hospital, which walked out in protest, are just going to start denying them health care as well. Or what about AIDS, Don? That's another infectious disease that could easily be avoided by not doing certain things. I guess you don't want them to have medical treatment because they didn't listen to basic medical advice or common sense. On second thought, liberals don't really have a problem with people spreading AIDS. Democrat Congressman Scott Wiener, who's a member of the LGBT community, proposed a bill which became law in California reducing the penalty of somebody knowingly spreading AIDS from a felony down to a misdemeanor. So now it's basically just like them getting a parking ticket
You can
or
have
jaywalking.
AIDS and
In
give
other
it to
news,
somebody
boxer
else.
Oscar De La Hoya, who is fully vaccinated, has contracted COVID-19 and not
Oscar De La Hoya, fully shot it up. Fully shot it up. Sick in the hospital right now.
other news, boxer Oscar De La Hoya, who is fully vaccinated, has contracted COVID-19 and not only had to cancel his upcoming boxing match, but he's hospitalized as well and says that it's kicking his butt. This is very unsettling, not only because somebody fully vaccinated has been hospitalized, but this means that old Joe, the supposed president, has been spreading misinformation.
If you're vaccinated, you're not going to be hospitalized. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
Yeah.
And again, to be clear, I'm not trying to discourage you or anybody from taking the vaccine. I'm not encouraging it either. I don't give medical advice. As a media analyst, and I have a bachelor's degree from California State University, by the way, I'm just sifting through all of the information to show the flip-flopping, the hypocrisy, and the insanity. One thing I will tell you to do, however, is to order one of my shirts. And today's the last day.
All right.
You can get.
So that's the end of that. That's weird. I was looking at my Discord while I was doing that. Somebody changed their channel name. I was figuring that out. All right. Okay, I did remember Riddle's talking about the trucker thing. Riddle, if you were, I think you were watching a Broken Patriot video, were you not? Didn't he talk about that, or was that just its own thing? Because I would like to see that. If you can hit me up with a link, that's why I was checking Discord, or you can just post it in the chat here if you can find it. That would be great. Oscar De La Hoya, and that clip from Biden. If you have gotten the shot, you will not be hospitalized. This is in his words. You will not be hospitalized, and you will not get the sniffles. Well, that didn't turn out to be correct. I know a few people that have gotten it again since doing that. If that's the case, you got to ask yourself, and this is just a hypothetical. I don't know. Let's put it in a different spin so I won't get in trouble, right? Let's say that they have a cure for AIDS, okay? You have a cure for AIDS. If you have AIDS, get this cure and you will no longer have AIDS or spread it to anybody you know. And then you still get AIDS and you still spread it around. Are you going to go get more of the medicine? Are you going to be like, "Oh, I guess I need a booster"? Or at some point we'll be like, maybe this shit ain't working. Now that I know it ain't working, preventing AIDS, why would I keep taking something that's obviously not working? And what else is it doing to me? It obviously couldn't stop what they said it could stop. So these are the kind of questions, referring to AIDS, that everybody should ask themselves when deciding put foreign things into your body that you don't know everything that went into putting it together, or what everything might happen if you take it for AIDS. Be careful, man. Be careful with your own personal health, your own body. That is the most precious thing to you, is your own autonomy. If you don't have that, if you don't have control of your own body, whether you want to get an abortion or whether you want to spread AIDS freely, don't you think that you should give the biggest shit for that? Before you put something that you don't understand into your body, don't you think out of all the things you do your homework, what gun should I buy? What car should I buy? What home should I buy? Don't you think putting stuff in your body, maybe you should do a little research on that first in your own personal life? I don't know. Okay, on to other news stories. San Francisco will pay criminals to not shoot people. I might have to move to San Fran. San Francisco will soon pay some potential criminals $300 a month to not shoot people. The city's Dreamkeeper Fellowship will give monthly gift cards to 10 people deemed to be at high risk of gun crime if they refrain from taking part in the city's alarming surge in shootings. Why am I not surprised? There's a surge in San Francisco, as well as $300 for staying out of trouble. So that's up to $600. Those in the pilot program can make an extra $200 if they meet other benchmarks, such as attending parole appointments and finding a job, or up to $800 a month. The pilot, which starts in October and plans to expand about 75 people a year, is part of the mayor's 2-year initiative to invest $120 million into the city's black community. Oh, it's redistribution. That makes sense. It will be funded with taxpayers' money, as well as private donations and possible federal grant. The program was inspired by one run in neighboring Richmond, California in 2016 that studies have said reduced gun crime up to 70%. Sure, you can reduce, and I'm not, you know what? That might actually work. You're going to pay people with other people's money to stop shooting other people. And apparently 30% still do it. Anyway, but it has faced serious controversy with a 22-year-old mother, Dawana Rice, getting sentenced 40 years to life after admitting murdering 2 people, including a 17-year-old boy in 2 separate shootings while in the program. That's just stupid. That's dumb. Okay, Dawana, you know what? I'm going to look her up. Hold up. Oh, him. Sorry. I'm guessing this guy. This guy is not bright. Oh, he's thugging. He's thugging hard, bro. But he ain't too bright because they asked him, so how have you been doing on the program? Have you shot anybody recently? Well, yes. I kind of killed 2 people this week. It was a rough week. I had a problem with my mother. I just had to take it out somewhere. And these motherfuckers did me wrong. So, yeah, I took them out. And then got put in jail for life. Nice. Yolanda Fricklin Prothrow, the grieving mother of one of Rice's victims, blamed the program organizers for 29-year-old son Javonte Prothrow's death. You didn't take their guns. You were giving them money to buy more guns, the mom said in a 2016 interview. Wow. Crazy. This is the same guy that likes to abort babies and all of the other favorite libtard things. Who's that? He obviously has 2 brain cells. Yeah. Like, how do you go to your meeting to get your free money and like, yeah, I kind of fucked up this week. Sorry, I guess I don't deserve the, $800 or whatever. I killed a couple people. Sorry. Uber and Lyft are going to pay to cover the penalties for drivers sued under the Texas anti-abortion law. The Texas anti-abortion law is actually the subject of Guns Coast to Coast's latest video. I would definitely go check it out. You know what? Screw this. I'm gonna actually give you guys the link because I want you to go see it. Let's see. Maybe it's still his newest one. It is. Oh, here you go. Go check this video out. This all will make a lot more sense if you do. Welcome in, everybody. I see we had a few people leave. That's okay. Everybody's got shit to do. The ride-hauling companies, Uber and Lyft, said on Friday they will help cover the legal fees of any driver who is sued under the new law prohibiting most abortions in Texas. It is. At the time, I was like, well, it's definitely going to seriously make it harder to get an abortion, but I didn't really realize, I suppose, on how difficult. Like, I've never been in a family or in a situation where anybody I knew was seeking an abortion, right? If I look back at the pregnancy of, when my daughter was being gestated, is that a word? When she was in the womb, we didn't find out for a couple months, right? So, yeah, it pretty much bans all abortion. Doesn't technically, but boy, you got to be quick on that. You better be taking a test every, once a month, I guess. The Texas law bans abortion once medical professionals can detect a heartbeat, usually around 6 weeks, and often before a woman even knows they're pregnant. Rather than being enforced by government authorities, the law gives citizens the right to file lawsuits and collect damages against anyone aiding in an abortion, which I am totally against. I think it's just going to lead to a whole bunch of people ratting each other out in order to get paid, including those who transport the women to the clinics. What if they don't know? Well, I guess, where are you going? Drop me off at the Family Dollar right next to it. San Francisco-based Lyft said it had created a fund to cover 100% of the legal fees, just the legal fees. That means if you go to court, they will pay for your lawyers, but if you lose in court, that'll probably be on you. Anyway, they're going to pay for your legal fees for drivers sued under the law while driving on its platform, calling the Texas law an attack on women's right to choose. Good. I am glad that we are using a right to choose. I have rights to choose things too. Maybe not abortion, but there are other things that come with my body that I want to have a choice in. Lyft also said it would donate $1 million to Planned Parenthood. Wow, guess we're not using Lyft anymore, Riddle. We want to be clear, drivers are never responsible for monitoring where their riders go or why. 100% agree with that statement. Absolutely agree with it. Imagine being a driver and not knowing you're breaking the law by giving somebody a ride, said Lyft in a statement. Well, as I said, if they're like, hey, I need to go to the abortion clinic, and you live in Texas, it would, even with this, that they're going to help pay for your legal fees, I'd still be like, nah, you get out of my cab or car. And if they're smart, if the people trying to get the abortion are smart, they'll just say, take me to the Family Dollar that's like right there. I mean, there's a Family Dollar just about everywhere. Anyway, similarly, riders have never had to justify or even share where they're going and why. Imagine being a pregnant woman trying to get a healthcare appointment or an abortion and not knowing if your driver will cancel on you for fear of breaking the law. The CEO of Uber responded to Lyft's statement in a tweet announcing similar policies for its drivers. Drivers shouldn't be put at risk for getting people where they want to go. I agree with that 100%. Uber has also headquartered in San Francisco. Did not know that. I'm not surprised, though. Earlier this week, the chief executive of Tinder owner Match Group said she is setting up a fund to help any Texas-based employees who need to seek an abortion outside the state. Well, that's good. Tinder, the dating website to help you get laid. Obviously, they're going to want to be able to, you don't need to have that thing laying around. You just had a good time that one time with that random person. It's a healthcare choice. You could have worn a condom, but I mean, that's no fun. Who wants to wear a condom? Rival dating app Bumble, I'd never even heard of that, also criticized the law and announced on Instagram it would donate funds to 6 organizations that support women's reproductive rights. Women definitely have reproductive rights. It's called saying no. Both dating companies are based in Texas and led by women. Match Group said CEO Shar Dubey, yeah, we'll go with that, is creating the fund on her own and not through the company. She spoke out against the law in a memo to employees on Thursday. I immigrated to America from India over 25 years ago, and I have to say, as Texas resident, I am shocked that I now live in a state where women's reproductive laws are more regressive than most of the world, including India, Dubey said in a memo. Well, she must have lived in the nice part of India, because most people from India that lived, struggled, would probably appreciate the freedoms. Now, do you have a freedom to kill? I don't know. I mean, that's just a disagreement, right? I disagree with abortion on a core religious, personal level. However, I do not agree that people should be getting paid for ratting other people out. That's bullshit. I also don't agree that you go around with the whole 6-week thing. If it's seriously that difficult to get an abortion at 6 weeks because you don't even know you're pregnant, and you did that just so that you get around Roe v. Wade, just because your team does something that does what you want in the long run, like I don't like abortion, right? Just because I don't like abortion doesn't mean I should celebrate the fact that Texas is going about it all wrong. Just because they're trying to get rid of abortion, which I don't like, doesn't mean I agree with the way they're going about it. If that makes any sense. Maybe they will add coverage for being sued for an abortion to your health. There you go. Maybe. Insurance companies are all over the new products for that. Maybe. Federal court has ruled against a Catholic school that fired a gay teacher. Now, we had a story recently where they actually it was probably a different court, but a different court most likely had ruled that churches could do whatever the fuck they want, because you can't go. I can't sue Hooters for not allowing me to work as a waiter in a tight little top with my belly hanging out. I would love to sue them for that, because it is like they're picking and choosing. They're only picking the hot ladies to work at Hooters. You never see an ugly one. Well, I don't know. I haven't been in a Hooters in a long time, so maybe you do see an ugly one now and then. But fat chicks don't get to apply, or they definitely don't get the interview. How can we have a place like Hooters discriminate on looks and sex and maybe even LGBT? Like, what if a gay guy wanted to be a Hooters girl? Or they might already have trans. How do they get away with that? Only good-looking people can apply. But a Catholic church is going to get in trouble for firing a gay teacher? A gay substitute teacher was wrongfully fired by a Roman Catholic school in North Carolina after he announced in 2014 on social media that he was going to marry his longtime partner. Federal judge has ruled. U.S. District Judge Max Cogburn ruled Friday that the Catholic Church High School and the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of the Catholic violated Lenny Ballard's federal protection against sexual discrimination under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act. Cogburn granted summary judgment to Ballard and said that a trial must still be held to determine appropriate relief for him. All right, so they're going to have a trial just to see how much he's due. After all this time, I have a sense of relief and a sense of vindication. I wish I could have remained teaching all this time, Ballard said in a statement released on Friday, which represented him in court. Today's decision validates that I did nothing wrong by being a gay man. Ballard taught English and drama, I'm not surprised about the drama, full-time at the school for more than a decade, earning its Teacher of the Year award in 2012. He then transitioned to a role as a regular substitute teacher, typically working more than a dozen weeks per year, according to a 2017 lawsuit. He posted about his upcoming wedding in October of 2014 and was informed by assistant principal several weeks later that he no longer had a job with the school, according to the ruling. The defendants say that they fired Ballard not because he was gay, but rather because he engaged in advocacy that went against the Catholic Church beliefs. When he was publicly announced he was marrying another man, the ruling said. You're not getting fired because you're gay. You're getting fired because you're getting married to the same-sex partner. So I grew up Seventh-day Adventists. Seventh-day Adventists have a weird rule. They're okay with you being a member of the church if you're gay, but they will take you off the membership rolls and not allow, well, I don't know if they won't allow you in the actual church, but they won't allow you to be a member of the church if you're a practicing homosexual. Like, if you're a homosexual and they know it, somehow you told them or whatever, they will basically say that the only way that you can be a member is if you abstain. If you're a practicing homosexual, you're not allowed to be a member of the congregation. Thank you. You got a link for me. Yeah, Hooters settled out of court. Did they? Last time I went to a Hooters, most of the staff was unqualified to work there. Underqualified? I thought Catholics were okay with... Yeah, I thought... Well, there are certain Catholics that are and certain that aren't. Oh, wow, you got me a different link. You didn't get me a link to the... Oh, did you get me a link? No, you didn't get me a link to the trucker, but you got me a link to this. All right, media in the blogosphere exploded in indignation when a Michigan Hooters waitress was told that her 132-pound body no longer met the appearance standards of a Hooters girl. That led to a weight discrimination lawsuit against Hooters restaurant chain and sparked a heated debate about the workplace obesity in a retail business. This was in 2019. I'm surprised it took that long. Michigan Hooter waitress claimed that she was receiving nothing but positive ratings from customers and teamwork that should be enough for her to retain her position. Although no formal research was conducted, and it's safe to say no one would identify customer service and teamwork as the primary reasons for their Hooters patronage. Good, bad, right, or wrong, Hooters doesn't hide what it stands for. The question becomes, does Hooters or any retail organization have the right to develop its identity in the marketplace and to require employees to be in alignment with that? Especially given that Hooters is not alone. Abercrombie & Finch and Whole Foods. Really, Whole Foods? have faced public opinion and legal consequences of alleged weight and obesity discrimination against employees. Are overweight and obese applicants and employees part of the legitimate protected class? And what kind of new discrimination laws related to hiring and firing are in store for the U.S. retail industry? Well, the link is in the chat if you want to go on even more than that. But there's other reasons just other than your weight. If you go in there and you've been in a fire and your face is all fucking burnt, you're not going to get hired either. Wouldn't that be against the Disability Act? What about me? 46. I can wait a table. Used to be 500 pounds. Now I'm like 260. I got a little extra skin flapping around. It's going to look great in a tube top. I'll whip around real quick and the side of my belly fat, it's going to slap you right in the face. This chat is off the rails. And I'm the one that's taking it there. All right. Critical race theory rampaging through top corporations. So if you work for a corporation, be ready for this. Oh, is that as low as I can go? Okay. A rash of reports last week has revealed that some of our country's biggest oligopolist companies have plunged the headlong into critical race theory based employee training programs in the name of racial justice. The programs facility discriminate against white employees, but also deem and these are gonna be big words. I'm gonna have an issue with tonight on this one. Broken Patriots laughing his ass off. Thanks, Broken. Okay, Scott Shepard, National Center for Public Policy Research. A rash of reports last week has revealed that some of the country's biggest companies have plunged headlong into critical race theory-based employee training programs in the name of racial justice. The programs discriminate against white employees, but also demean and infantilize the black and other people of color, employees that are ostensibly designed to support. Okay, this creates massive legal risk, of course, and also reputational ones, given that the more American investors, consumers, and employees learn about racial equity under CRT, the less they like it. This reputational risk is multiplied because the executives who approve the programs and encourage general employee participation in them very much fail to apply the vile teachings to their own personal and professional lives. Rules for thee, not for me. Whenever news of a corporate executive mendacity and maligning arises, odds are good that the Bank of America and its CEO, Brian whatever, will play a role, and there they are. As Chris Rufo reported last week, Bank of America, along with a host of other malefactor companies, have sponsored a diversity and inclusion program created by the United Way that instructs white employees that they are both personally and collectively responsible for any disparities in outcomes between whites and members of the other ethnic groups, while the latter bear no responsibility for their own circumstances. Whites are instructed to decolonize their minds and cede power to people of color. So if somebody gets, you've been working for that company for 30 years, you're up for a promotion, it was long overdue, you should have had it forever ago, and some new guy gets in and all of a sudden gets the promotion, he happens to be a person of color, well, you just need to understand that it's because you're white and he's not, that he needs to get that job even though he's not qualified for it, doesn't know how to do it, not one little bit. This instance of that white employees sit quietly back at the back of the office, perhaps, while people of color take charge and tell them of their racial guilt and their duty to subordinate themselves to make amends, so obviously creates a hostile work environment that I'm surprised lawsuits haven't already started, this person says. Next round of layoffs should be interesting. The whole theory also demeans the diverse people it claims to help. There are two categories of people who are absolved from any personal responsibility for their actions and their fate: children and the mentally incompetent. Under the new critical race view of the world, white people, all white people, even toddlers, are superheroes of colossal and earth-shattering power who must abjure their powers for the good of all. Okay, so we're all powerful and we got to make sure that we don't use our powers for evil. Non-white people are mawilled. What the fuck is mawilling? I don't like this guy. I'm going to give him a thumbs down. I don't like him. Anyway, they're helpless in the face of wicked white domination, not personally responsible for their circumstances, and only able to succeed if whites step aside. So yeah, so this person of color is going to get your promotion. Well, that's going to make the white person feel like shit. And then when the person who got up there, you know, took the promotion, gets up there, well, you only got it because you're black, dude. The other guy was way more qualified. You couldn't have done that without your skin color. Should be a fun few years ahead of us. And fuck this guy. Who is it? Who did this? Hold on, I gotta go to read more in order to see who the fuck wrote this shit. Town Hall Finance. This guy. Fuck you. All right. This is the only article I can find on. Thank you. I mean, you could have shown me the video that you saw. Did you see a video of trucks on the side of the road? If they're on the side of the road, there's got to be video of it. The truckers are supposed to be on strike for 96 hours starting the 31st of last month. So they should be on it right now. Total media blackout. I'm pretty sure you said you saw some. Anyway, truckers were reportedly protesting the sniffle shot mandate. TikTok video has gone viral for showing what Oh, it got deleted? So a TikTok video had gone viral for showing what anti-vax truckers strike would look like on the ground, empty grocery store aisles. So this is not even true. Unable to receive truck shipments until further notice. Sorry for the inconvenience. Mikel Francisco uploaded a video in early August showing empty aisles at a grocery store with a note claiming the store was not able to receive any truck shipment. There's a link there. The video has since garnered more than 655,000 views. Comments under the TikTok attributed the empty store to impeding trucker protest against the shots, and many stood in solidarity with the drivers. Drivers across the U.S. were reported planning a strike against the mandates on Tuesday. This follows a similar protest held by Australian truck drivers on August 29th, and also apparently in France. One of the most vocal U.S. protesters, the disrespected trucker, interesting, might have to look for that, previously posted TikToks calling for truckers' protest against the shot, according to the trucker. The disrespected trucker previously tweeted for his fellow truckers to turn off those keys on August 31st. Several of his other tweets using the hashtag medical freedom, which has been used by anti-shotters around the country to rally against potential shot mandates as well as sniffle shots in general. His TikTok was shut down on Monday, the user said. Really? I might have a new hashtag to be putting in my videos. Medical freedom. I like it. Censorship is real, folks. Hell fucking yeah, it is. Hell yeah, it is. I was just on the phone with my sister today. We had this kind of conversation. You can get the shot, not know what in it, but they told you it was going to work. Biden comes out and says, if you get this shot, you're not going to get the sniffles. You're not going to go to the hospital. Oscar de la Hoya has gotten the shot. Many others. This is just one example. Oscar de la Hoya got all of his shots. He got the sniffles. He's in the hospital right now. If I say that I think the shot didn't work for him and that maybe you should consider it, I'm going to be taken off for medical misinformation. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden, who said that you would definitely not go to the hospital and you would definitely not get the sniffles if you got the shot, he's fine. Absolutely fine. Basically, if you don't play their game, they're going to shut you down. And that's why we're on the second channel right here, probably right now anyway. Freedom of speech. Remind me how free we are next time we go to a 4th of July. Oh, free freedom. Oh, did you make sure to take your gun off before you went to look at the fireworks? Because they don't allow firearms to go look at the fireworks. You're free. You're not. They gave you a tracking device, shit that you fucking paid for, and carry around everywhere you go. They're going to put us onto a digital currency probably sooner than later, so that they can track all the money that you spend and receive. So any kind of side hustle that you're doing without the government knowing about it, that's gone. Free. We ain't free. All right. The disrespected trucker previously tweeted for fellow trucker. I already read that part. Censorship is real. I just got banned off of TikTok for absolutely nothing. A TikTok representative confirmed with the Daily Dot on Wednesday that his account was shut down over violations of the TikTok community guidelines about misinformation, censorship. Regardless, he has received tons of support for the protest on TikTok and on Twitter. Many anti-shotters, in addition to spreading common misconceptions about the sniffle shots, claim that such a strike is what was needed to uphold individual freedom in the country. We're past that. If you want freedom, if you want true fucking freedom, you better be ready to fucking fight for it. Misinformation regarding the sniffle treatment and the shots have been rampant across social media. Really? It's funny because they keep taking that shit down every chance they get. And it's almost like people still want to get that information out. Prompting President Joe Biden to claim in July that it's killing people. The Centers of Disease Control and Prevention has issued a guide on how to address misinformation and disinformation in one's community regarding the sniffle shots. Yeah. Do your own homework. Figure out what you're putting in your body. Don't just allow just whatever. Well, they said it was good. I mean, it came from the government. The government's great. Despite the social media support, it's not immediately clear how many truckers participated in the supposed protest. Trucking industry has faced no such shot mandates as of August 25th, but according to the Center Commercial Carrier Journal, most drivers have said they would defy the mandate or the testing mandate. Good for them. Truckers are pretty independent. They don't have to usually deal with much. Their CEO or whatever, the person that controls where they go, they talk to like once a few times here and there. But most of the time when you're driving truck, it's just you and by yourself unless you're a team driver. The disrespected trucker did not respond to the Daily Dot's request for an interview. This is just a funny story. I just wanted to read this. Oh, you got one too? What's up, Armed Archangel? I just saw you here. Quantum Lotus is in here too. Hold up. Y'all blowing me up? Total Media Blackout. Heard about it, but it's definitely not an MSN. No. Riddle has a TikTok video that we'll go look at.
We see the serpent.
I know that song.
This puppet show stays on because of you.
Doesn't look like one.
We've been dancing with the devil way too long.
That's not a trucker strike. You know what that is? That's people camping out overnight. That's a truck stop. That's what a truck stop normally looks like. All right. Well, I don't buy that. A paraplegic man who was injured on a roller coaster is now suing a Utah amusement park, saying his paralyzed leg wasn't properly secure when he was on a ride and his foot was shredded. Well, at least he didn't feel it. Hello, everyone. Does anyone have a good remedy for the booger sniffles? Me and the wife have it, and are getting our asses kicked. That sucks. So, my friend Irish has a lot of good things. Zinc, lots of zinc. Elderberry, I think he said, is really good. In my house, personally, we really like fermented garlic in honey. It's really easy to do. It does take like 2 or 3 days in order for it to happen. But if you get garlic cloves, peel the garlic, individual cloves, peel them, or buy the pre-peeled ones, and put them in a mason jar. Fill that mason jar up with honey past the point of the garlic cloves. Don't worry about air bubbles. Just make sure that it's a decent amount above the garlic. Put a weight on it if you can, and then just let it sit for like 3 days. Skim the top off, just in case anything gross got in there. The consistencies, if you put a lid on it, you can put a lid on it. Just make sure you burp it like twice a day. It's only like 3 or 4 days, so it's not that bad. But that would be a good way to keep stuff out. And I just usually skim off the top, but then the rest of it's ready to go. The garlic is really good. It's not really garlicky. Like if you were to just eat that straight up clove before you fermented it, wouldn't it be that bad? The honey becomes a water-like consistency, and the sweetness gets put into the garlic. So it's really good for sore throats and stuff like that. It's also really good on Asian dishes if you make Chinese food. But elderberry, zinc, that, and other than that, I'm not really sure, man. Sorry to hear it, though. A lot of people that I know have been going through it. My sister just had it recently. A friend of mine that I'm going to be seeing soon has gotten it recently. I still have not. I do think that maybe me and Riddle had gotten the precursor to it in 2017, December of 2017. Or maybe it was 18, I don't remember. But it was before this whole thing. But it was the worst flu that we ever had, and that was 2 weeks worth. So, zinc, magnesium, elderberry, echinacea, and comfrey. Well, there you go. Riddle Girl got you. And also vitamin C, B6, and B12. Well, there. See, I didn't help you at all, Armed Archangel. I hear that it's hard to stay hydrated, so make a real effort to get a minimum of 64 ounces of water a day. That's a good news, yeah. Fermented gunny and harlic is great for allergies, congestion. Yeah, especially if it don't get any honey. If you do that, do not get normal honey. Go and find a local honey supplier. Sometimes you might have a store that carries local honey. Make sure it's raw honey. And if you can, find out what you're allergic to, if you're allergic to anything. Because sometimes, like, orange blossoms really orange blossoms mess with Riddle. Right? So we get her the orange blossom honey, which is made from orange blossoms, which actually helps her allergies out quite a bit. Okay. Australia to be completely cashless society by 2024. I don't doubt that at all. 1 minute and 23 seconds. You know what? I'll listen to it.
Could be farewelling cash and coins sooner than we had expected. New research from FIS FinTech is suggesting that Australia could be cashless within the next 3 years after the COVID-19 pandemic saw most countries resisting using physical notes and coins. Cash transactions fell by 4.4% globally between 2019 and 2020 because of the pandemic.
They can't track
COVID-19 is accelerating the pace of cash's decline faster than even the most bullish projections. The pandemic accelerated the decline of cash by over 3 years, exceeding in 2020 our previous projection for 2023. The report also shows that the afterpay method of delaying payments or lay-buying will see a surge for Australians and is predicted to double from 9.5% in 2020 to almost 20% in 2024. Australia is set to be number 4 in the list of countries who will lead in the cashless phenomenon, following Sweden as number 1, Denmark as number 2, and Hong Kong as number 3. The Reserve Bank, however, denied last month that cash withdrawals were seeing a drop, and Governor Philip Lowe doubted Australia would ever become a cashless country. But it's good news for the ATO, though, after it was revealed this week that businesses who operate with cash were costing Aussies up to $50 billion in unpaid taxes.
Side hustles. That's exactly what it is, right? So there's a couple of reasons why they want to go to a cashless society. For one, they'll now know everything you spend money on, right? So the side hustles, the things that they're missing out for their taxes is something like, hey, you want me to mow your lawn for $20? Yeah, okay. I mow the lawn for $20. I don't report that for taxes. Guess what? I get to keep all $20. And that's for everything like that. Right? Now they'll also address it, well, it's also going to cut down on drug stuff. Maybe it might cut down on that, but it's also going to cut down on a lot of other things. It's going to make it harder to sell a firearm to somebody without everybody knowing about it, especially if it's, a friend of yours or a relative of yours. You're going to have to go through all that shit. There's also the fact that there's, I don't know, how many trillion in debt are we now as a nation? I think the last time I checked it was like $30 trillion in debt. It's ridiculous. They don't have that kind of cash printed out. They can't. It's just impossible. That kind of cash, if you printed that much money, there'd just be no way. And with the collapse, what I believe will probably be a collapse of the economy at some point if they keep printing this kind of money. That might be a good go-to. And then you have the, well, it's dirty money. They say that there's cocaine on every bill. What it'll actually do and what it'll actually mean for everybody else, I don't know. Anyway, so this paraplegic guy's foot got shredded. Let's see. The lawsuit said Christina's ligament in his big toe was irreparably shredded and that he suffers fractures to his lower leg, toe, and 2 other foot bones. A spokesman for the theme park in Farmington, north of Salt Lake, oh wow, I've been there. I've actually been there, said he couldn't speculate on the facts of the incident, which were under investigation. I went there in the 90s. The ride in question has a lap restraint similar to others used throughout the music industry. Christine is paralyzed from the waist down, and he was using a wheelchair at the park. Well, you know what this is going to do? This is going to make it so they don't allow anybody that's paralyzed to go on a ride. So thank you very much for ruining the fun for everybody else. During an October 2020 visit with his family and a friend, his son and a friend helped transfer him from the wheelchair to the roller coaster car. According to the lawsuit, they had the lap restraint secured correctly, but his right leg was not secured properly by the leg restraint. I didn't know they had those, which caused a man's paralyzed leg to dangle below, and he was injured when it got caught in the platform. Sioux Nation, man. That's exactly what we are. Let's see. Most importantly, a cashless system gives the government total control. I think there'd still be workarounds. Criminal going to be criminals. You can't stop that. They're going to find different ways of doing that. Exactly how? I don't know, but leave it to the criminals to be the first one to figure out a way to get around a cashless system. Like they'll have a VPN or some sort of software in order to do it without getting detected. So how the hell is a Tooth Fairy supposed to work? Debit card, prepaid Visa. Leave it. Yeah. No, that's Riddle. We're on the same sync. I actually said that before I saw the comment. How about strippers? You got to swipe the card. Wildfire, smoke, snuff, outdoor adventures across the U.S. Okay. There's a lot of fires going on, I guess. Andy Farquhar, is that like... Okay. Plans for an outdoor adventure have gone up in smoke twice this summer. The retired attorney and teacher from Philadelphia area had planned to hike with a friend for several weeks on the Pacific Crest Trail north of Lake Tahoe till the second largest fire in California history stampeded across Sierra Nevada, closing a 160-mile stretch of trail and blanketing the region in thick smoke. Saw a satellite view of where we were going. It was all on fire, he said. Yeah, there's a lot of fire going on right now. In fact, the smoke is in Idaho, according to my sister. So it's a big fucking fire. Yep, run the credit card. If they can figure out that technology, I'll probably go see a strip club at least one more time in my life before I go. Just because I want to see that work. Too many Afghans, not enough welfare for them. That always seems to be a problem, doesn't it? CBS posed a handy outline of the massive mess the Biden administration has created by scooping up tens of thousands of Afghans who have really no legitimately determined immigration status in the U.S. So, of course, Congress might have to change immigration law so that medical care, housing assistance, food stamps, and cash assistance can be made available to them. In the meantime, the Biden administration will be going outside the law to find money, your money, to take care of them. I don't understand. You print so much. Just print some more for them. All of those aliens combined with the Afghans and Biden's promise for an October 1st to begin admitting up to 125,000 refugees from other areas of the world other than Cuba is going to create the greatest drain on the American taxpayers we have likely ever seen and the greatest chaos and tension in welcoming communities as of all of the competing migrants want stuff. The Biden administration plan to resettle tens of thousands of Afghan refugees is facing formidable operational and legal challenges with issues ranging from uncertain immigration status of many of the evacuees to the limited social resources and permanent housing for the new arrivals. They're going to give him free money, most likely. Does this dude have a bra on his head? It definitely goes up right there. Okay. And that was the last story. I'm surprised. That was a better story than some of the other ones. Kind of a shit night for stories. I hope you had a good time, though. I had a good time hanging out with y'all. Actually, one of the things that I look forward to doing, every once in a while, I'll be like, man, I don't really feel like doing the catch-up. I was like, yeah, but when I do the evening catch-up, I like doing the evening catch-up. And I was told by Irish USMC vet that the morning muster should be on tomorrow morning. So I will be getting up at the butt crack of dawn in order to be on that. And I hope to see y'all there to that as well. If you need a link to that, you know what? I should have a link for that here, or at least for his channel. Let's see. Let me find a link for his channel.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
That's the video that comes up when you go to his channel and are not subscribed to his channel. Sorry about that, Irish. I'm subscribed now, bro. My secondary channel. All right, there's his channel. Hopefully, we'll be doing a video. Oh, he did. Wait. He did a video about screen.
Understand that if active duty military actually get deployed within the United States, that weapon is not just pointed at other people, other countries. It's pointed at you. If you do not get in your house when I tell you to, you become the enemy.
Ha! Ha ha!
Cut off the end.
Martial law.
Martial law. So.
Oh yeah, he's listening to Guns Coast to Coast video. Yeah. Well, he says she just pissed her career away supplying tough guy. I don't know if she did. Look at the has anybody looked at the military as of recent? HTP, this dude, like, this is gonna be that drops when they come around here. 3-letter guys better be after them. Okay. Well, I haven't talked to El Tenda for a long time. I should go over to his channel, make sure I'm subscribed to it. But yeah, we'll be doing an evening or a morning muster hopefully tomorrow. Also, Riddle Girl got me a really cool shirt. I wanted to show y'all. I don't know if it'll show. Probably not, but there you go. Hopefully it showed. It's when tyranny becomes law, resistance becomes duty, or some shit like that. It's in the back. I can't read it that much, so I already forgot exactly what it said. Anyway.
It says when tyranny becomes law, resistance becomes.
You forgot to? Yeah, well, that's fine. Riddle just sit. It's fine. Anyway, that's going to be it for us tonight. Make sure to check out the descriptions if you haven't already. There's only 4 people here, and I pretty much think I know who they are, so you probably have seen those. But I hope to see you tomorrow morning for the morning muster. Also, Riddle got me this, too. This is a one-chip challenge. It's a Dorito chip. It's one chip. One chip. There's 25 calories in this one chip. But it is a Carolina Reaper one chip challenge. I'd probably be doing that over on Twitch, to be honest. She also got me these ghost pepper chips that look pretty good. So we'll see about eating those too at some point. Anyway, until tomorrow or tomorrow morning, I hope y'all stay safe. Make sure to keep that family close. Watch out for that government. Try to live as free as you can in the tyrannical world we find ourselves living in. And man, if you didn't know already, you are an ant. And until all the ants decide, you know what, there's more of us than there are of you.
There was that ant that stood up to me.
We're going to be squashed. One at a time. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.